Disclaimer. Only educational and entertaining objectives are intended for this video. Every word spoken in this video was derived from a book, the internet, or another publicly accessible material.
I will not say much in the beginning about the story I will tell you today. Just know this, the story is from America and you will find it totally imaginary. But let me tell you that this story is absolutely real. The story begins in Portland, which is a large city in the U.S. state of Oregon. On November 24, 1971, a man in his 40s or 50s arrives at Portland International Airport on a Wednesday afternoon. His height would be about 6 feet or less. He was wearing a dark-colored business suit, a white shirt, a black tie, and dark brown shoes. He also put on a black raincoat and held a black briefcase in his hand. There was not much of a crowd at the airport that day as the next day was Thanksgiving Day on November 25. After reaching the airport, that person went to the Northwest Orient Airlines counter. After reaching there, he bought a ticket from Portland to Seattle, a one-way ticket. He paid $20 in cash. And on the counter tells his name Dan Cooper. The flight on which Dan Cooper got the ticket was flight number 305 and that plane was Boeing 727. After taking the ticket, Cooper heads towards the boarding gate. At that time, there was neither any metal detector nor any checking at the airport. The only thing you needed for boarding was a ticket. So, after boarding, Cooper reaches Northwest Orient flight number 305, and there was a seat in the back row. He goes and sits on the middle seat, number 18C, and puts his briefcase on the seat next to him, and the seat on the other side of him was also empty, and then he puts on black glasses and lights his cigarette, and orders a soda drink. Apart from Cooper, there were 35 passengers on that flight, and Cooper was the 36th. Besides him, there were 3 flight attendants, a pilot, a co-pilot, and a flight engineer, so in total there were 42 people on that flight, and that flight was about 2/3 empty. This flight takes off at its scheduled time of 2:50 p.m. Shortly after takeoff, Cooper pulls a slip out of his pocket and gives it to a passing flight attendant. The name of the attendant was Florence Schaffner. He stops her and gives her the slip. Florence takes that slip, smiles seeing it, and leaves from there. Florence thinks that this is some flirt type guy and he is trying to give his phone number, and this has happened to her many times before, so Florence puts it in her pocket without reading that slip. When Cooper sees that she has put the slip in his pocket without reading it, he calls her again and speaks softly in her ear. If you have read that slip then it is okay, if not then I want to tell you that I have a bomb. As soon as Florence hears this she gets scared and then she opens the slip and it was written in it, "Miss, I have a bomb, and I want you to come and sit with me." Florence then calls her fellow attendant named Tina Muklove and show the slip, and after seeing the slip, Tina also gets scared. And then she dares to ask Dan Cooper, "Where are you, not joking?" So Dan Cooper tells Tina Muklove to sit beside me, "I want to show you something." Then Tina sits on the empty seat next to him. Cooper then opens his suitcase and reveals that it contained 8 sticks of dynamite, which have been a bundle of 4 to 4, and there was a battery and many wires attached to it. After seeing this, both of them are very scared. Then Cooper says that this plane has been hijacked. "I say that you bring my demands to the captain of this plane." And then Cooper gets his demands written on a slip. He demanded that by 5 p.m. today 2 lock US dollars needed, 4 parachutes, 2 primary back parachutes, and 2 reserve front parachutes, and when this plane lands, then a fuel truck loaded on the runway to refuel this plane, and if there is any trick done by anyone then I will blast this plane. Taking this demand of Cooper, Florence goes to Captain William Schott. Here, Tina also sits by the intercom and tells the whole situation to Captain Schott. Soon after, the captain contacts Seattle's ATC, Air Traffic Control, and tell the whole situation that such a man whose name is Dan Cooper has hijacked Flight 305. He has a bomb and this and that's are his demands. And if this demand of his is not fulfilled, then he will blast this plane. As soon as the airport authority hears this news, it also gets stirred. After that, the news of this hijack was given to FBI, and the local police and airport security are also alerted. Here, Cooper tells Tina that this plane will not land in Seattle until all these demands are met, and also demands that the $2 lakh US he wants are all in the form of $20 to $20. And then Tina tell this thing from the intercom to the pilot and the pilot to ATC. Then later, it is decided that we will fill his demand. Later, he will land and we will catch him there. And here Flight 305 reached Seattle, but Cooper had said that this plane would not land until his demand was met. If the panic does not spread among the passengers, then the announcement was made that there was a small mechanical problem, the flight may take time to reach the destination. And the plane kept circling over the airport for the next 2 hours, and Cooper kept smoking cigarettes inside the plane, in which he also took the help of Tina's, because with the other hand he was holding the detonator of that bomb. During this, Tina asked Cooper why he chose Northwest Orient Airlines for hijacking.